Welcome to the Life Coaching Podcast, your go-to source for inspiration, transformation, and actionable insights. I am your host, Angela Gonzalez, and I am thrilled to have you on this journey towards personal excellence and empowerment. In each episode, I dive deep into the realms of life coaching, wealth creation, and personal development, sharing transformational stories from individuals who have achieved significant breakthroughs in their lives. Whether you are aiming to redefine your career, improve your relationships, or discover your true passions, this podcast is your partner in unlocking your full potential. Join me every week to hear from thought leaders, experts, and everyday heroes who share their practical strategies and heartfelt stories of success. If you are ready to unleash your potential, let's get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Gonzalez, and I am the host of the Life Coaching Podcast. Thank you for coming today. And today I have a special guest. She is Angela Bennett. Angela is a dynamic wellness and performance coach with plenty of life experience, helping individuals create transformational shifts in their lives. As equestrian coach for the last 30 years, locally and internationally, she honed her skills in technical instruction, goal setting, and mindset work while fostering harmony and resilience in high-pressure environments. In her own coaching practice, Angela aligns living coaching. Her approach blends practical techniques with a sense of humor, making sessions both effective and enjoyable. As a certified neurolinguistic programming and hypnosis practitioner, Angela empowers clients to overcome limiting beliefs, reconnect with their passions, and achieve optimal performance. She is also versed in wellness coaching, combining holistic strategies with actionable tools to help clients align with their mind, body, and soul. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. It's so great to be here. I'm really looking forward to our chat today.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Angela. Angela is an extraordinary woman who's been dedicating her life not only to help people with their mind, bodies, and soul, but also helping people to achieve high performance in the art of riding horses. So, Angela, could you tell me a bit of your story and how you discovered this path of helping people through NLP and coaching?
Yeah, okay. Gosh, it starts a very long time ago when I was 7 and got my first horse riding lessons for Christmas, actually. So I was gifted horse riding lessons by my elder sister. And we'd already had horses in the family anyway. So I guess it was inevitable I was going to end up with horses somehow. But that started a lifelong passion with riding. And I kept pursuing that. Into my 20s, I did my first equestrian certification. And I got such joy from riding and just hanging out with horses. I mean, what I love really is just being around horses. They're magnificent animals and they connect with us in a really special way. And I think what's remarkable about them is they have such power and grace, but also a real gentleness to them as well. And really, I went down the path of equestrian coaching because I just wanted to be able to share that with others. When you are riding a horse that you've worked with and created a partnership with, and they work for you and give you all their performance and effort that they can, and they match your sort of input and performance and effort, it's a truly magical feeling to sit on that, and it's a gift. So that's what I wanted to share with people. There's a quote that goes something like, and I'll probably forget it a little bit, but it goes something like, in riding a horse, we borrow freedom. And that is so true. So I really enjoyed helping people connect with their horses and feel that. And I still do that to this day. I've done it overseas as well. And obviously, in a competition kind of setting, it's a bit different. It is high pressure. And so there's a lot more kind of technical skill, mindset, technical skill and strategy involved. But if you don't already have the foundation of that partnership evolved and established with your horse, it doesn't matter what you do at the competition. It's not really going to go the best, right? So it's all about laying good foundations. I found that I was teaching a lot of people who were returning, I mean, women mostly, who were returning to riding. So it's something they had done in their childhood, or wanted to do in their childhood and couldn't. And now, you know, their career was going, their children had grown up and moved out. So now it was time for them. And it was really lovely helping these women reconnect with horses, and was something they loved. But what I also noticed was all of life's baggage, you know, they were kind of bringing with them to the horse. And beyond horse riding being the technical aspect of the skill, we have a saying, which is your horse is your mirror. And that's not just about the technical, physical side of things, but also like on a level of personality and emotional side too. So they can reflect how we are being energetically. And what was really interesting was women who had dealt with life and were maybe carrying some hurts and maybe some, you know, self-doubt had crept in over the years, a loss of confidence, that I was actually doing a lot of coaching around just self-worth and self-belief, and a lot of confidence coaching. And so to help these women overcome their self-doubt, low confidence, etc., I needed to find some other way to help them through that thought process. You know, and I'd learned some things myself around mindset, but I needed some other tools and techniques to really help them, because I believed that they could do it, but but they're the one on the horse, so I really need them to believe that they could do it. and the horse is going to feel that change, that shift in their energy. So the lovely thing about that is, from a rider perspective, you get instant feedback from the horse about how you are, you know, being and behaving and conducting yourself in your energy. So if you can sit there and believe you can do something, remove some self-doubt and try some things rather than being caught in that kind of freeze response of fear, then the horse gives you an instant feedback that that was a good thing, that was a correct thing to do. And it creates a really nice positive feedback loop. And then you're more likely to go, oh, it worked, I can do it. And so you can repeat it, right? But it's always getting that first step is the hard bit, isn't it? You know, like taking that first step out of that comfort zone is always the hardest part. So I did start with, I did look at doing psychology. For me personally, I felt it was a little too rigid. So I always like to include all modalities. So, you know, I definitely have one foot firmly in science, but I have one foot firmly in complementary modalities as well. And I really think these things are not mutually exclusive. If we can blend them, they work very well together. So I looked around and I landed on a life coaching certificate. And from there, I got really interested in NLP, the neuroscience behind that, the way we can create such shifts with our thoughts, and it has a cascade effect through our whole body. You can literally change your whole life by changing your thoughts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's incredible the power we have available to us. We just need to be shown how. You know, you need some guidance and help with the process of how. So, you know, and alongside the hypnosis, NLP is the hypnosis to just help keep changing that. So you know, that's where I ended up. And I still coach horse riding and I still ride. But I've also, gone out and helped, I would say mostly women, actually. I do. It's mostly women. And that's nothing against you blokes. I love men, but I do end up with mostly women as my clients. And I would say it is women who are looking to reconnect with the younger version of themselves and get back to that kind of joyous, fearless, childlike kind of energy. And that's what I love doing. I love showing people their inner brilliance and magnificence. So
That's lovely.
that feels like a very long answer to how did I get here, but that's how I got here.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you so much. And I love your answer because you really went deep into the whole story, or almost the whole story, because I know that's not all. But the point of the matter is, and I want to highlight something that you said, because you explained that you borrow freedom when you are riding the horse. And there is a huge history about how horses have been the best friend, the healer, and the companion of people. And I admire so much when people work alongside horses to help other people to heal from illnesses, from mental roadblocks, and also to help them feel free, as you just said. So I love that part of the story and how you combine it after with NLP hypnosis just to help women, as you say, in matter of achieving that freedom, reconnecting with themselves and finding a way out of the mind cave. That's something absolutely amazing, astonishing, and that's something that most people need nowadays in the world. So I want to highlight that and acknowledge you, because I think, I truly believe that the work that we can do every single day to help one more person and make this world better is actually valuable. So thank you for sharing that part of the story, Angela.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. If we can reach one person and help them, reclaim themselves, that sends massive ripple effect, through their family, significant others, their friends, their community. And I think if we can reach one person and keep doing that, then we can create a global sort of ripple effect, right? And that is how we're going to create a big shift in the world. Yeah.
And that's exactly what we are experiencing right now. Because this industry is not a new industry. It's an industry that's been ongoing for a few decades already. But the huge difference nowadays in comparison with, for example, the 1960s, is that most people understood how important is to get to know thyself, to know themselves, to understand themselves, and to start looking from inside rather than looking outside. And that's the most important. And when you work with the horses and you help people to connect with them, and horses are beings of a beautiful, strong energy. When you help people to match that energy, I am pretty sure that the shift that they can reach and achieve is life-changing for them. And I want you to please explain from that perspective, what are the results that you have seen in people when they actually connect to the energy level, to the horse, not just to become a high performance in the competition level, but also how it shifted energy to become a better human being.
Yeah. I mean, the results are incredible, and they actually don't look like much from the outside, but it's because it's all internal. And just to pick up on your point of, going back in time, how we intrinsically knew how important it was to know ourselves. And that's a really important point I think you've brought up there, because today's world is filled with so many distractions, and you know, I'm Generation X, and I'm so thankful that I did not grow up in my childhood with, you know, a phone and streaming services and things like that to get distracted by, and that we are a very distracted group of people now, you know, and I speak globally, and horses just will not tolerate that. They just won't, because horses are just, you know, I mean, all animals, right? But I work with horses, but horses are wandering around wondering what's on Facebook, or what new TikTok has just been put up by one of their friends, you know, like horses are just wandering around being horses, right? They know who they are and what they do and what they don't like. Now, you get different personalities in the horse world. My horse is, he's very sure of himself, and he has very particular likes and dislikes. So it's abundantly clear to me when he doesn't like something, but that's great because it holds me to account, right? So,
And it was your own horse that kicked you out that moment and shift your own perspective, isn't it?
totally, it absolutely was. Yeah. Do you want me to tell that story now?
That would be amazing. I think that's
Yeah,
the best moment right now to
it
explain
is.
how your life, changed completely thanks to
Yeah.
your own horse.
Yeah. It really took that moment for him to tell me how far out of alignment I had become. And I think, you know, when we're not living the way we know we should be living, we can feel it in our body. But again, we're very distracted, and we're very good at shoving it down, right? Because we don't show emotions or talk about things like that. And, you know, we need to be successful and seen to be strong and resilient, and, you know, which can be detrimental if we go too far. But so I kind of knew things were not going well in my life. I was, you know, but it was my horse who really sort of pointed out to me. So I went to lead him one cool autumn morning, beautiful, crisp morning. And I went to lead him from his stable out to his paddock, which is about, I don't know, 30 meters. It's not very far. And I just couldn't control him. And I'm someone with 40 years horse experience, all kinds of horses. So, you know, the fact that I couldn't lead my own horse from the yard to the paddock without him playing up, all I could see were he was just rearing up constantly onto his back legs, and all I could see above my head were his two front feet. Yes. Now, he's a big horse. He would be pretty close to 600 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, he's a big animal. And so his energy and tension was up. I'm now looking at a pair of hooves dangling above my head. I've got no control. My overwhelm and anxiety just went through the roof, and it all just spiraled from there. You know, I had to take him back to the stable yard, and fortunately I had an appointment booked with a vet to come and see, so to see him that day for another reason. But fortunately I just told her what was happening, and I got some help, and the horse went for a little holiday somewhere else while I got myself together. So that, you know, I came in and sort of, that's when you're kind of hitting rock bottom. I came inside and hit rock bottom and thought, okay, well, I have to do something. This can't continue, you know. So
Yes. Did you feel scared in that moment? Did you feel fear?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Fear, but it also didn't feel like mine, because the other part of my, you know, my logic brain is going, I don't understand what's happening. You're an experienced horsewoman. why can't you handle this horse? And, and then you feel like a failure. And then you think, oh, well, maybe I can't handle this horse. And then the other voice says, well, you've handled horses for more than 30 years without having this kind of issue. So it's something else. And I think the hard thing to understand for me was it wasn't necessarily, although the loss of control of the horse in that moment was scary, because he could have been hurt, I could have been hurt, and not necessarily intentionally from either party, but the whole situation was so out of control and explosive that there could have been injury. And the difficult thing for me to understand was that it wasn't necessarily my lack of horse skill and knowledge. It was actually how I was emotionally from other aspects in my life. And I'd just become pretty much so out of alignment and so far from who I really am at my core identity that I literally didn't know myself anymore.
Absolutely.
I got into this people pleasing and, trying to fit in for other people and be somebody else so that I fit in for them and didn't cause any problems and didn't cause any waves. And that leads to all sorts of confusion within yourself and also hurt. It just hurts, right? Because
I think that you make an extraordinary point right there, because you are talking about how being out of alignment actually affected not only your perception about yourself, your emotions, but also affected your performance. And most of the time, on any career, any job, or any activity that we engage with, whether you are an employee or you are an entrepreneur, a successful corporate CEO, or any other role that you can play in life, when you are out of alignment and you cannot find that balance, that equilibrium with yourself, your soul, your mind, your emotions, your intentions and actions, that absolutely influence in the quality of the results that you get at the end of the road.
Yeah.
Life mastery is the ultimate tool for discovering your real self and healing from any personal constraint that might hinder your growth. The purpose of this journal is to nurture your mental health and foster a space of self-development, self-awareness, and self-love, which can impact positively your thoughts, actions, and behaviors. Embark in this exciting world of personal growth by committing to answer a handful of daily questions designed to guide you through a path of development, happiness, and fulfillment.
Yeah, exactly.
In your case, you are an expert person handling horses for more than 30 years in that moment, I think. And the reality was, in that particular moment where you were experiencing that internal disalignment, your horse that hey, Angela, this is not working for me anymore, and your performance is affected in this way. We must stop right now and do something different. Is that correct? That's how did you read it?
Yeah, absolutely. That is, his behavior. Later that day, as I reflected on what was happening, and I sort of calmed down a bit and thought, okay, well, I have to change something, because the big question was, well, what is he showing me? What is my horse showing me? And he was just saying, basically, in a very clear way, stop. Your own energy is so confused and hurt and sad and angry that I can't be around it. I can't be around it. You're not giving me, you're not calm to be around, and you're not able to communicate clearly and effectively. And that's the big thing, and I think it's nice when animals can reflect this to us, because it's not that life doesn't reflect this to us. So we are always having how we are being reflected back to us by other people, etc. I think there's a way around, people will, when people connect to you, they might reflect back in a softer way, or they might dodge it, or they might just ignore it and think it's not my place to say anything. So it's not always just a really accountable, honest, responsible type of reflection. It's not a pure reflection like you get from an animal. So
That's totally right.
Yeah, it's more, I just feel it's more meaningful from animals. And I think, if you ever hit that point with an animal and you are able to recognize what is going on and understand that they're reflecting to you your own internal state. And this is the hard bit, because then you have to look internally. And, we don't like to do that because that's out of our comfort zone, and we might need to look at, our hurts, our wounds, where we're angry, the way we've behaved when we're angry, unintentionally, but the way we've maybe lashed out and hurt others. So we have to look at a range of things in our own behavior, and that's quite confronting. And it's easier, it would have been very easy for me to say, it's the horse. That's the horse's fault and problem. The horse is mad, nuts, aggressive, whatever. Just get rid of it. I mean, I only sent him off on a holiday so that we got a bit of space from each other, actually. So I didn't inflict any more of my horrible energy on him, but and so I could go off and do some work myself. But it's easy to blame external things. It's much, much harder to take the personal responsibility and think, okay, well, that was quite possibly me. And the good thing about that is, if it is me, also hooray, because I can do something about that. Like, that
Exactly.
is also within my power, within my control. So, so where for a moment you feel like the problem, you're actually also the solution. So that's a really, that's a really powerful, positive reframe. That again can be quite a bit of a step to get to.
Yes. Look, Angela, excuse me because I interrupted you there. I totally agree with you. I love horses. I don't own any horse yet, but I love them since I was a child. One of the best experiences that I can remember, I was riding this horse just in the forest. And the horse was a bit, I don't know how to describe it. Probably was upset at a certain point. Maybe it was tired because, I don't know, it was probably the 150 ride by the moment that I started doing this. And the horse showed me that he didn't want to go in certain way. Yeah. He didn't want to go in that specific direction. What I tried to do, I tried to force him. I tried to force the horse and make him go where he's supposed to go. And then the horse just decided to turn around and go the other way. But in that moment, something shifted in me. And I decided to pat the horse. When we were riding, I pat the horse and I started talking to the horse. And then I just asked for more speed. And the horse started running and running and running and running. And we were in that particular moment, I think I was 15 or around that age. We were certainly free for those couple of minutes in which we were riding, and the people around, hey, trying to stop us because it wasn't safe for the whole activity that we were doing. But it was absolutely amazing, and I could feel that horse was also having fun as much as I was having fun.
Yeah.
Yesterday, my little boy, he's 4 years old, and he ride for first time a pony.
Ooh, so exciting.
It was so amazing for him, looking at his face, his experience, and looking at how easygoing was the animal as well. It was a tremendous experience for his life. And I think that connection that we can develop naturally with the horse in matter of seconds is the big win when we are actually trying to do this type of jobs, this type of activities, this type of connection with another being, different, and rescuing here what you were mentioning, different from the relationships between human beings. Because
Yeah.
although we are social beings, although we know that we are here to establish good relationships, partnerships, romantic relationships with another person, we also establish all sorts of barriers in the communication and the connection that
Yeah.
interrupt the natural developing of that process. And most of the time, as you're mentioning, it's about what's coming inside rather than what the environment actually foster or is in the predisposition for. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, the emotional intelligence of horses is really being studied now. So that what a lot of us who've been with horses for most of our life, what we've observed and intrinsically know is now being researched. So we've got some hard evidence, which is always interesting and good to have. But, you know, they use horses a lot for, well, you only have to watch the Paralympics riding to see the incredible partnerships that riders form with their horses. And it's used a lot for PTSD. There's amazing programs around for horses as therapy. That isn't an area I work in. I work in more of the riding side, but there is still that opportunity for that connection there, right? Because nothing forced is ever beautiful. So it's about, and it's not that there aren't some rules or boundaries within the relationship with the horse, especially if it's a young horse. What's a good way to describe that? You're probably more like the parent. So there are some parental rules and boundaries around behavior for the young horse until they learn and grow. But then certainly the relationship develops far more into a collaborative sort of connection. And it will also depend a little bit on each horse's personality. Like I was saying to you, my horse is very, you know, he's quite opinionated, which I like that in my horses because that kind of reflects my own personality a bit. So we're quite a good match, right, energetically. And then other horses are just so soft and tolerant. And although they all have that capacity, and, you know, forgiving and kind, but they also don't lie like humans do. So certainly animals can feign behavior because that's part of a survival technique. All right, so you've seen things like deer, so baby fawns will learn to play dead as a safety technique, okay? Some horses, I have seen horses feign certain behaviours to avoid something they don't like. So it is a survival mechanism, but they don't lie in the way humans do. So you are generally getting, depending on what environment the horse has been in, and because they are very emotionally intelligent, certainly if they have not been in a supportive, kind environment, training environment with humans, absolutely we can affect their own emotional intelligence and personality, and they can display behaviours of being shut down.
And
just like tend to.
I love that what you just said. It's about the honesty from the horse, different from human beings, because the horse is just natural, honest, and the connection that the horse achieve with a human being is absolutely natural. We can establish fake relationships between humans, but it doesn't happen with the horse. The horse either love you or want you miles away. And I think that's the most beautiful part of the connection between the animal and the human being. Now, on the other hand, Angela, you were telling about the internal alignment. When we speak about internal alignment, we are speaking about the emotion, the vision, and the behaviors that as human beings we carry out and how it is affected by the inner self. Whatever is going in ourself is the determinant, the catalytic point on
Yeah.
how we behave, the thoughts
Yeah.
that we think, and every single result that we start experiencing every single day. Now, when
Mm.
you were mentioning that you work with your clients with this purpose of helping them to align themselves internally,
Mm.
you are also an expert NLP, you are also an expert hypnotherapist. And most of your clients coming to you for both reasons. The reason number one is your career as equestrian, and the reason number two, your career as a coach. In this particular
Yeah.
area, I am curious about how you combine all these skills to bring one absolute result at the end of the process of helping people with the matters, the concern points, and the issues that they are experiencing every single day.
What an incredible conversation this has been with Angela Bennett so far. We have explored the profound ways our emotional state impacts not only our personal alignment, but also our relationships, especially with the honest reflections that we receive from animals like horses. Angela's story has truly inspired us to look inward and take accountability for our energy and actions. But trust me, this is just the beginning. Next week, we'll dive even deeper with Angela as we explore how to rebuild alignment after hitting rock bottom. She will share the actionable steps that she took to transform her life and reconnect with her authentic self, plus some incredible insights into building emotional resilience. So, make sure that you are subscribed to the Life Coaching Podcast on your favorite platform. And hey, while you are at it, why not share this episode with someone who could use a little reflection and inspiration today? Thanks so much for joining me and join Angela, and I'll see you next week for part 2 of this incredible conversation. Till then, take care of yourself and keep striving. Thank you for tuning in to the Life Coaching Podcast. I hope that today's episode has empowered and inspired you to take bold steps towards your own personal and professional breakthroughs. If you found value in today's stories and insights, please share this episode with your friends and family, because your feedback fuels my mission to bring you even more impactful content. And next week, I will continue to explore the amazing potential within ourselves. Until then, keep striving, keep dreaming, and keep moving forward towards your best life. I am your host, Angel Gonzalez, and this is the Life Coaching Podcast.